Sublime magnificence.
Hey guys, you know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent Big Ugly himself, Omari Ellis Feo Grande on YouTube, back with another episode of This Guy Hasn't Seen. And as usual, I am joined by my co-host, my running mate, one of my best friends in the world, El Director himself, Bill Smith.
Hello! Thank you, as always, for having me back.
Always good to have you. That's right. This guy has a scene. It's like a movie club where the two friends trading movies and other forms of entertainment at times, back and forth. And it's one of the best decisions we've made in a long time.
One of the best decisions.
Yep. And this week, the movie we got on file is a little different than the other ones that we've had to an extent. This
is kind of bringing us back. It feels like we've been going off track a lot recently between guests, weird shit that I'm picking, special wrestling episodes. This kind of brings us back to the core of, although the very first thing we watched was a filmed stage presentation.
Also true.
So we always were going to go weird.
Pretty much, especially when you put it that way. But this week, it was my turn to suggest something, and I suggested 2021 Red Notice.
Red Notice, PG-13, an Interpol agent successfully tracks down the world's most wanted art thief with help from a rival thief. But nothing is as it seems as a series of double crosses ensues. It is directed by whoever the fuck and written by whoever the fuck and stars Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot. I say that no offense to Rawson Marshall Thurber, who is the writer and director of this project. But these movie star movies nowadays that are executive produced by the movie stars, the guy running the show is he's just a puppet to like, it's to say Christopher McQuarrie is great and I love the new Mission Impossibles, but he's only working with Tom Cruise and he's exclusively working with Tom Cruise. It's because Tom Cruise wants to direct Tom Cruise is running the show.
Oh yeah, Mission Impossible is
Dwayne Johnson and Ryan Reynolds and probably Gal Gadot are running the show here. This is
them having fun. Oh yeah. So, yes, I did pick that. I initially saw this. I saw the promotion for it that even WWE was running with for a while. They once had one of these fake eggs and tried to have a little storyline of Vince having one of these eggs and one of the rookies on the roster breaking it or get stolen for an episode or two of Raw, around the time the movie was coming out. I wonder why. Anyway, I first heard about it through that. I was like, that looks kind of stupid and goofy. But then I saw it at work, and I've seen it at work a few times. Never really heard a lot of the audio that came with it. Watching it for us this time, I got to hear some voices. I'm like, I did not think this guy sounded that way. We'll get into it. But yeah, I was watching it and I was like, I've had it on the list to suggest for a minute. And while they can't all be winners, we pick more winners than we do losers. And because I had never really heard it with audio, I'd seen 95% of the film through just silence and it's on and I know exactly what's happening when, but I was like, this has all the potential to be bad, but it could be a fun time. It looks like a junk food type movie, junk food at the very least, junk food action. And so I figured I suggested. Bill, had you heard of this? Why, or what were you expecting? Why hadn't you seen it?
Yeah, I've heard of this. I had heard of it. I had not seen it intentionally. I chose against it. Because I felt like I was reaching an overexposure on The Rock and probably even Ryan Reynolds, and this felt skippable.
Fair.
Um, so I'm just trying. I'm giving you the cold hard truth here.
That's why I hadn't seen it in theaters, but again, I saw it through work and was like, we'll see.
Yeah. I was. I on what I was expecting. It's because it's the same reason of why I skip. It's the reasons of why I skipped it. I was the trailer told us everything. It was as you already mentioned in your intro, it was a heavily marketed movie. And it told us what was happening here. The whole like it's a three triangle heist scenario. One of these romp around the world rock movies.
Gotta go to the jungle at some point.
And now this time Deadpool's in it. Deadpool and Wonder Woman. And
Ryan Reynolds and The Rock, which, like I said, we'll probably get into, are definitely playing Ryan Reynolds and The Rock in this movie.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just I was kind of just expecting it to be a little bit of a cash grab. I was like, I don't need to see this. And so okay, hard truths. And I'll say I haven't watched the first one in quite a long time.
All right.
I don't care for Gal Gadot. I don't. I think she's a very lovely woman. Possibly, I don't know her personally. Could be a very good person. Could be a very terrible person. I don't know her. But that's beside the point. I don't love her as an actress. I think Wonder Woman could have been played by maybe anybody, and it would have been the same movie, for me. So that like, if it was a Rock Ryan Reynolds venture, I likely would have already checked it out.
Gotcha.
But I mean, if it was let's say if it was a Rock Ryan Reynolds Scarlett Johansson venture, which that probably wouldn't happen because I think Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson have a history. I would probably have checked it out. If it was Brie Larson, not to pick Marvel females like versus DC females. I mean, if it was Kirsten Wiig, Ryan Reynolds, and The Rock to pick her counterpoint in Wonder Woman 1984, I probably would have already checked it out. I don't feel it on Gal Gadot.
Fair.
Gadot.
Fair enough. I can't really argue one way or the other.
And this is prior to me watching this film.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and and that's what I'm saying. I definitely can't argue on anything that doesn't involve this film when it comes to her, because the only times I've seen Wonder Woman or Justice League was also at work where there's silence and you don't really get the whole idea of the performance.
I enjoyed Wonder Woman when it came out, but 1984 being so bad as it was. You haven't seen 1984? Oh, we could have watched it, but I've just spoiled. But honestly, I don't want to watch it again.
That's fine. That is entirely fine.
But it might be a fun bad watch. But I remember it, and then the reaction of it at the time was not well received. And then I started thinking back, and it was probably around when this was out. when this was coming out. I was just like, I don't like what did she do in Wonder Woman that was other than appearing to be Wonder Woman?
I don't
And
know.
the concepts of the scenes that she like the No Man's Land scene is just her holding a shield and like yelling, you know?
Yeah, she definitely did a lot of posing as Wonder Woman. Just I am Wonder Woman. She let standing there be Wonder Woman be her portrayal of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, and
Which to be fair to her, when I think Wonder Woman, that's the majority of what I picture Wonder Woman doing. Standing there being Wonder Woman and then punching it in the face really hard, which is cool. Like super strength and flight are always going to be cool superpowers. Not a big fan of the lasso. Not a big fan. The little deflected things I think is cool, but also kind of silly. But super strength, I'm always going to be there for someone who can punch really good.
yeah.
The Wonder Woman punch really good. Also has a lot of America guard.
Wonder Woman punch really good.
Yeah, she do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so expectations then.
That
was the expectations. Expecting not to like it because.
Well, no, I wasn't expecting not to like it.
Well, not.
I was expecting for it to be a global romp around the world.
Okay.
Half of this is improv in the moment when we get on set, and like, all right, so what do we got around us? All right, so we got to get to getting that, and then there's going to be some action set pieces, and we're all going to go home and get a paycheck, kind of thing, and and we've all been to Bali now, or that kind of thing.
Man, I want that kind of life where it's literally like, hey, let's go hang out in this country, make up some scenes, throw it together, call it a movie, make some extra money on top of it, and then we can write off that vacation to Bali.
Because if you light it like it's a real, if you light it like it's a real movie, and you film it like it's a real movie, and the people who are standing in front of the cameras are Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, and Gal Gadot, you could do whatever you want and slap it together and put it out there as a movie. So that's kind of what I was anticipating, and it was basically a like, all right, I think I'm at, and it may be my own fault. I mean, I fucking follow him on Instagram. I follow both of them on Instagram, Ryan Reynolds and The Rock. But I feel like I'm at a and not so much on Ryan Reynolds, but The Rock. His movies have all kind of felt like a similar note. Like I told my wife when this started getting going, that both of them need to do a prominent villain role soon. And I'm not talking about necessarily a superhero movie, but like a big movie that gets to play in theaters, not some little indie thing.
Yeah.
Like Ryan Reynolds has done weird little indies in his career, but they've just like Ryan Reynolds has been in this mode of just being Deadpool Ryan Reynolds in almost everything since
Van
Deadpool.
Wilder style shit.
Yeah, just kind of, and that's it's the same Van Wilder thing, but he's ranged around. And The Rock has ranged around early in his career too, but now he's like just the Fast and the Furious action star rock guy, and they all just feel the same note. I want him to be a really fucked up villain sometime soon, like the actual bad guy, against your him, he had dreams of being the Superman versus Black Adam that obviously is never going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, just fucking grab Henry Cavill and make a fucking action movie, because you can do that. You own a fucking sports franchise, not a team.
A franchise.
A league, an entire league of teams, a product. So yeah, you're a liquor mogul. Just grab Henry Cavill and go make an action movie, and be a really like kill people, like be dark. I need them to like break their trend, and I already knew that this movie wasn't going to do that. So it was basically like, all right, are the action set pieces going to be cool enough to make this something that's worth it?
Yeah.
Or is Ryan Reynolds' jokes going to be so hitting that it's just like a nonstop laugher kind of thing? Those were like the things that I was looking for
Gotcha.
on where can I find saving graces in this movie?
Hmm. Cool. And with that, we'll go ahead and segue right into the initial reactions for you. Well, I'll say for me, watching it this time, first reaction I saw, like, for such a cheesy story, because, like I said, rewatching it this time now with full on audio and everything, I'm like, I always figured it was a cheesy story because of the reasons you've just gone over. Um, but it seemed like they were taking themselves a little too seriously at the beginning. Like, like, cause it's like, oh, Cleopatra had these eggs, and then you're doing the like little opening sequence, and it's just, I'm like, wait, y'all are taking yourselves a lot more seriously than the tone I had put.
I hated that opening.
Yeah.
I had notes about the craft project of the egg that I was gonna bust out. But the entire opening is just a terrible choice to start your movie. Like, you're gonna do a weird History Channel spoof for like a solid like 30 plus seconds.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you open your movie before you slowly pan out from a TV. And then you reveal the craft project of what you very quickly know. Like, none of us are idiots. It's like, all right, this is a heist movie. Okay, so that's what they're stealing. All right, so they got to steal all three. So this is going to be, so that's what's going to make this a whole movie. So they got to go to 3 places. They got to steal 3 eggs. Great. Cool. Oh, he's making a replica egg. He's going to do a switch out with the first. All right, so this is going to be a switch out egg. Cool. We know that in 4 seconds. Done. They choose to continue, and then what they show is a terrible fucking job at replicating this egg. And then somehow it's just like, boop.
It's perfect.
They like, it's my notes are paint job, like the airbrush paint job is incredibly uneven. He did a terrible job at that. And then the resin pour that he did was incredibly gloopy and uneven with all kinds of air bubbles in it. He is not a professional at this, and it is not going to look good what we see getting done. I don't know what was going on there. And if they were literally just like, yeah, just pour some shit on that egg. We'll film it. Cool. Also, why is the resin gold and then he also spray paints it gold?
You got a point, because I was looking, because when he's like doing this, I'm like, that, I don't know. I feel like they could tell you. He let it pool into something.
They literally cut it right before it started to drip, like because he let the airbrush pool. This dude is an amateur. Whoever, I don't know if Ryan Reynolds was at the actual hand, I would be shocked. Like they got doubles for that. These are busy men who own fucking cell phone companies. Ryan Reynolds just sold a cell phone company for like $1 billion.
Jesus.
So like, these are busy dudes. They're not doing the close up of their hand with an airbrush, I would assume.
Yeah.
So get somebody who knows how to fucking airbrush. That was I really dislike that. I really dislike that.
I like that you know enough about the craft to be that upset about it and making it talk. No, I legit like that. Like, I didn't even. I had a slight bit of, I don't think that would actually match the egg, but like you said, you were able to go into detail. Look, the resin, the this, the that. I'm like, yeah, this was pretty fucking terrible. It was. I'm happy to know
it's
I was
a movie.
Justified.
It's a movie. They have a thing called the props department. There's probably somebody there who knows how to airbrush.
Or even make props. Like,
Yeah.
how'd you make the first
They
egg?
made the eggs.
How'd you make
They
the
made
first
the
egg?
eggs.
Make the second.
Film making one of them. Just film making one of them. And then say it's Ryan, and then at the end have Ryan Reynolds go, "Yep, that great egg I made."
Yeah, that was me.
And I'd love it. Perfect.
Yeah.
But beyond, like once we get into the museum chase and The Rock gets in, it's a much better. I don't know why they fucking opened the movie.
The opening just
it's so bad.
Yeah. The Rock, Rock gets there and his fucking thing.
My second note, and classically for me, last note of the film occurred right as they're doing the chase around the museum. I typed, Rock is serving eyebrow every fucking chance he gets. Every shot in that opening of that, like his first 10 minutes of screen time, he is going. Land. He is giving the people what they want.
Gotta give the people what they want. Yeah, The Rock, that's funny, but
you can't have ice cream for every meal though.
Yeah, the first
sometimes you gotta eat a carrot.
Sometimes.
He knows that. Look at him.
What are you talking about? He shows us pictures of his like cheat meals where it's a whole table of food and he's like, cheat day flex. And it's like, shut up. But no, first, like you said, there's a whole opening thing, dissolves the egg because he's trying to prove he's a special agent, and he's like, the bishop told me. The bishop's a legend. Well, clearly the bishop's real.
Yeah, that's another thing. I'm like, what? I have no idea what the fuck that egg was made out of for Coca-Cola to do that to it. I have no idea. Like even as I was saying that, even as I was saying that, if that egg was made from milk chocolate, that cold can of soda would not do anything to it. That room temperature can of soda would not do anything to it.
Yeah,
it would have to be a hot soda. If it's a hot soda and that is a chocolate egg that Ryan Reynolds has replaced it with, then I buy it. And it also explains why it was so gloopy earlier.
Yeah. Like, what the hell?
I don't. Okay. What the fuck are they saying that was made out of? I don't know.
And then leads into the fucking opening chase as he chases Ryan Reynolds down, and Ryan Reynolds doing shit, knocks a guy down. They do throw in a Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, very early Wilhelm.
I'm like, not the Wilhelm scream.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you get to the point where we actually see them talking for the first time, and The Rock. Kind of, a lot of people who watch a lot of movies, you see this movie coming from a mile away even as you watch it, where he's like, how do I know I can give you this? For all I know, you can be the bad guy. You're right. I am the bad guy. Now give me the thing. Okay, that was kind of weird, but maybe he just said that, like, whatever, it doesn't matter, I got a gun. Like he said at first, like when he said at first, where's your badge? I don't need to show you my badge. I have a gun. And he's like, well, you could be the bad guy. Whatever, I'm the bad guy. I still have a gun. And that could still work, but the way he said it the first time, just, you're right. I am the bad guy. It's like, oh, okay. He spears him out a window. Being speared out of a window would suck. That's a note in my thing.
Oh, yeah. I said out loud, they're dead. Well, they're dead. Movie over.
The Rock, as heavy as that motherfucker is, at the very least, Ryan Reynolds is dead.
Oh no, the Rock broke his neck.
Oh no, they're both dead. I'm with you, but I'm like,
Ryan Reynolds has broken his spine, and at the very least is paralyzed, and The Rock is dead because he basically swan dived onto his head.
Yeah,
he had a person on his shoulder, but he basically swan dived onto his head. He's dead.
Now I'm starting to regret, picking the choice after that opening and some of the stuff. Because you know how I get. But I have to mention something, even if I don't mention anything else in the movie, that legit made me just start laughing. Ryan Reynolds gets in a car to escape. The Rock gets in a car, starts turning on the music. Like, oh, we're about to... I don't remember this car chase, but okay, we're about to have sabotage. Oh, this is cheesy as fuck. I can't stand it. Immediately crash. I legit lolled at that.
I verbalized out loud. Oh, that's good. That's a good choice. I like that.
Yeah, but so that legit made me laugh. But yeah, eventually, turns out Ryan Reynolds gets caught and arrested because The Rock's pretending to be a cop. Spoilers, I guess. The Rock's pretending to be a cop this whole time, working with Interpol to catch Ryan Reynolds so he doesn't get these eggs. And The Rock is getting tips from this person called the Bishop, who is a super duper thief that likes giving tips to the police to screw over Ryan Reynolds and The Rock, apparently. So eventually, the two of them both get screwed over because the Bishop's doing some switcheroo shit, and they end up in a Russian prison that is run by the Bishop, who is played by Gal Gadot. And she wants to know where the other eggs are, blah, blah, blah. Like you said, these are some loose scenes just to tie the action together. And eventually, when The Rock got arrested, I did laugh because I saw the Terramana product placement. Like what he's drinking at the bar was Terramana.
When Ryan's arrested, he's drinking Aviation, which is his gin company. Yeah, technically Ryan had a gin company before Rock had a tequila company. But yeah, Ryan's drinking his gin, and then Rock is drinking his tequila.
Gotta love it when
I wondered. Okay, so does Gal Gadot have an alcohol? Maybe she has a wine. Like, is she seen drinking wine in some point in the movie? I feel like she would have a vineyard.
She might. She might be drinking it in that scene where she meets him in the prison. Anyway, turns out now that The Rock has to team up with Ryan Reynolds to get the eggs before the Bishop does, because screw her, she's screwing us over. Meanwhile, there's this cop, Daz, who's just following them the whole movie, just taking the tips and just not really questioning. Just, I want to arrest all three of y'all if I can, but especially you two because y'all is messing with me.
Yeah,
and that's the plot of the movie. There's other moments and stuff that are cool, like when they go to get the second egg, they gotta go to a party, and there's this Soto Voce guy, and this is one of those people, and Gal Gadot as well, where I was not expecting the voice that they were using to be the voice that they used. Like, I was like, that's how he sounds? Because at first he's just Soto Voce. Like, oh, all right. But then when you got to talk to him, he's a lot more. My father died, but I killed him anyway, or some shit. Like, I'm irredeemably evil. Oh, here's a standout moment for you. Aside from the prison break itself, because apparently soap plus whatever equals explosions. In Django Rocks, because Ryan Reynolds has a very Ryan Reynolds ass scene, just like The Rock's has very The Rock ass scenes. Anyway, they get they fail at getting the second egg because, surprise, surprise, the bishop is one step ahead of them again. And she's been seducing Soto Voce, and now she's got him arrested, and she's just talking like, I'm gonna torture The Rock if you don't tell me where the third egg is, Reynolds. And then she's like, shocks him. Ryan Reynolds doesn't care because this is a cop that got him arrested. But then she's like, it's time to go downtown. And she fucking pulls a cane on Shane McMahon where she takes the fucking jumper cables and shocks The Rock's balls while singing downtown. You can go. I'm like, that's actually kind of terrifying. I would not want to be in downtown. No, not downtown. But yeah, they break out because they keep breaking out. Because one thing established by Ryan Reynolds' character in this movie, he's very good at breaking out whenever he's captured. There's even a point where they're getting chased. He's like, whatever, let them catch us. I can get out of this. Just let them catch us.
I'm very good at breaking out afterwards. Yeah, the Russian jail scene breakout is one of my favorite scenes of the movie.
Okay.
Just because it's slowly revealing that he's already been planning and orchestrating their breakout the entire time they've been there, without The Rock knowing it.
He's like,
and he also could have done it without him.
It's pure glycerin. Yeah. Oh, then they're moving the rocks. I can't get this rock to fit. Can you help? Singular rock. It should be good now. And then, like, yeah, as it goes, he's just like, by the way, this pure glycerin soap, when you mix it with this, you get nitroglycerin. We better run because the escape is getting down. Jenga wall. So, yes, I agree about that. Like, him just putting the gears in motion. Showing, like you said, he's very good at escaping, and he's used to doing this. And the whole point of them being put in this Russian prison was supposed to be that it's unbreakoutable because they're extra cruel or some shit.
Right. Well, and it's on like a weird mountain peak.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Only accessible by like helicopter and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, the prison break, that was a fun thing. And yeah, eventually, like I said, they break out the social vultures thing. We got a fucking bullfight scene for no reason.
I was expecting The Rock to just straight up like just punch the bull in the face.
Punch the bull in the face, or what's his,
like knock out the bull.
Oh my god, I forget Uncle Scar from Bahubali. I don't remember what his name, but you know, Bahubali's like the lion.
Oh yeah.
Him, where he fucking literally grabbed a fucking bull.
Oh right, yeah,
horns.
Yeah. That's the other thing I was expecting to do is like, yeah, do one of those and like steer the bull or something.
Yeah. Steer the steer.
Instead, he just gets wrecked. Another time where Rock will be dead. This is another moment where you're like, oh, that dude's dead.
Yeah. But you know, we gotta sow some kind of distrust between these two because you know they don't like each other. They're a cop and the other, and they know how confidence schemes work. Trust them. So eventually, it's like, yeah, let's go to fucking. I know where the third egg is. It had to do with the Nazis. The Nazis had it, and they took it to fucking
always the fucking Nazis.
Argentina or some shit. What do you mean? You mean I get to go to the jungle like I have in like 80% of my movies? That's right, The Rock. We get to go to the jungle. We get to go to the jungle because reasons. They go, they find the eggs in like a secret Nazi vault. And the bishop is there, because of course she is. She's been there literally every time they did anything the entire movie. Not sure why they wouldn't have expected her to show up again. I don't care if Ryan Reynolds lied to her and said the egg was in Egypt. She knows the guy hates her, so she wouldn't trust him anyway.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah. Before Bishop stands out, they also have a moment where they're like, "Oh, look, a car! Wow, it's like it's brand new. I bet it even runs. I wonder how they got it in here. Couldn't possibly drive up that hole we just climbed through. There. That's where they got in from."
Yeah, it's like
all right. Well,
like,
thank you.
Another way in here. Toodles.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, so thanks for telling us how you're gonna get out of here, I guess. Really spelled it out for us.
Pretty much. And sure enough, so the bishop was there, but while they're talking to the bishop, surprise, surprise, here's Daz again. Like, I'm gonna go arrest all you motherfuckers. And now everybody's shooting. Ryan Reynolds asked The Rock, a solid question. He's like, wait, you're a cop. Why are you shooting back at them?
They shot first. They shot at me first.
Yeah.
It was the only explanation.
They shot at me first.
That was the moment where the movie broke if you didn't accept it. And like the thing that pisses me off is how late the turn is. Like I'm fine with like a backstab, but like it just
seemed like they were trying to extend the movie at that point.
It's too late in it. Like it's cheap. It's cheap. To also show us things that didn't happen. That's another thing that I don't like in like a mystery thriller movie. Like, don't show me a version of The Rock going back to the van, checking it twice, looking for the cop that he handed the egg to, if that's not what he did. If he actually was like winking and blowing a kiss to the cop and like being like, all right, see you later with the real egg, closing the doors. Don't show me that moment. Cut to something. Yeah. And it's just like Rock drove off. Like it doesn't. I don't like. There's no explanation for it. Then, like, make it to where if The Rock is telling the story of finishing up the job, and then we see him while he's narrating, telling the story of finishing up the job, that explains why we're seeing something that didn't actually happen. Instead, we go from direct reality to a made-up universe that is where nobody saw that thing occur.
Yeah, what's the point of him doing the double take if literally no one's watching?
And it didn't exist. It didn't exist. It's not what happened. That's
what I'm saying. Like, there's no point for that if that's not what happened and no one even saw it that way.
Yeah. The turn is just really annoying. And so it was so late in it that I didn't believe that it was. I still didn't think that was necessarily what was going to happen. I just thought that the movie had imploded in on itself and was just like, well, The Rock needs to be in this action scene fighting with Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot because that's what people came to see, is these three guys all fighting together. So that's what's got to happen. Yeah. And it just made no sense for the movie unless magically somehow The Rock is all of a sudden, yes, the second bishop, and it's a dual thing, and they're
the bishop is a tag team.
Which I don't know. Ladies, sound off in the comments. There's no ladies watching, I would imagine. Sound off in the comments. Is The Rock sexual? He doesn't seem like it feels like people get so big that they don't really become a sexual. They're somehow no longer a sexual being. Like, it's just like I don't really see women being like, oh my God, like The Rock. It's like, it's more just like
they oh my God, they definitely were like that for a long time. So,
well, yeah, no, there's a difference between WWE days Rock and all the testosterone and steroids and human growth hormones, allegedly one or all of those things, possibly, version of The Rock that we have now.
Yeah, I think
I love the joke Ryan Reynolds made, lift with your neck. Because his neck is bigger than all of our bodies.
Yeah, no, I think after a while that probably, well, again, I don't fucking know anymore than
it's just
it does look like it would be a little bit too.
You don't really see his characters interacting with a female in that way that often, And when you do, like with Gal Gadot at the end, it doesn't, like, I don't know, maybe it's just me. There's just no chemistry there. And so I was just curious if it's just because once you get to a certain size, are you not like, obviously a lot of ladies love a buff dude, but that's like, he's at like, Mr. Universe level dudes. And like, what, like, that's,
there's something for everybody.
every
But
bit
I
of
think
you is
there's less for
hard
The Rock now
and
than
like
there used to
veiny,
be.
and you're so big and you gotta like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, there's something for everybody, so I'm sure there is, but there's less now than there used to be, is what I would assume. Because I'm with you. They're like, that's got to be a niche now where people are still.
oh yeah, well, there's always gonna be.
That's what I'm saying. It has to be niche. It can't be the popular opinion anymore. But for popular opinion people, they got fucking Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot to be the popular
Right, like any movie Ryan Reynolds is in, he's going to have a female counterpart that is in a romantic relationship with him, likely. Those are so rare in a Rock thing, and even if they are, there's never a like it's my wife, but it's not like there's no like it's just like I have to go save her, and then at the end there's like an awkward embrace kind of thing. It's just, I don't feel like he clicks.
Yeah, probably not anymore. Like I said, that was probably more of a younger, like a decade ago Rock that could have done that, but he decided to become a literal Rock. And thus, it is what it is. So yeah, but yeah, we get the twist, and like you said, it was a little bit foreshadowed, and by little I mean a lot of bit foreshadowed, and they did the whole thing where they just outright lie to you about certain things and how they happen, which is why I even put the twist as like a twist. But yeah, and the whole I am the bad guy, they literally go and like, in case you didn't see us with our subtle things, he literally said he's the bad guy, or I know how a confidence scheme works, trust me. While he's working them. Or you have no idea what I'm capable of. Like, okay, cool. They're a couple, and we got one over on you, and we sold the egg to the guy who's for his daughter, because some rich dude wanted the eggs to get to his daughter. He was going to give away millions of dollars for it. And we get to see him try to give it to his daughter, and as she gets ready to get the eggs, fucking she loses her shit because Ed Sheeran's ugly ass is on stage. That's why all you need is a guitar and a voice. Anyway,
it's a beautiful voice,
yeah.
and he makes
does have a
pretty
voice.
and he makes pretty songs.
Yeah. That's what I said. You just need an instrument and a voice. That's all you really need.
And a creative mind to write award-winning songs.
Yeah, but if
they may not be your taste, you're clearly giving a vibe. They may be your taste, but I think he's like won Grammys. He's a multi-selling. He's not really my vibe either. But
I'm not talking about his music career. I'm talking about.
Oh, that he's fugly. Sure.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Well, most of our greatest rock stars of all time are fugly dudes.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. All you really need.
Well, you're diminishing it quite. You were diminishing it quite a bit.
For them to go that crazy about you, because if all you do is write and you don't have the instrument or the voice, you're just the writer for somebody else. Chances are you're not getting that attention. I'm losing my shit.
Yeah. No, I got it. I just had to. I just had to get you to build up to it. First it was. Turns out all you need is a guitar, and then I was like, well, he also has a beautiful voice and sings those pretty songs. And then you're like, all right, well, all you need is a guitar and a voice. And it was like, well, and you also need, the creative mind to write all of those.
Yeah, but I'm like, okay, at that point,
he's not just a dude with a guitar.
Yeah, I'm not saying
there's rarities out there.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying.
No, I gotcha. I don't like I didn't like that moment either, just because it was that's a cheap cash grab. Like, and sometimes it can be done right, but even when it's done right, like in your airplanes or something, when there's just like a cheap cameo where it's just clearly like the guy's like, hey, it's me, that person. Ah, and then off camera they were there for maybe 3 hours, shook some hands, did their bit, and got out. um it never goes well. I don't know why we're still doing it.
Yeah, but turns out Ryan Reynolds got one over on them by ratting them out to the cop. But he needs to sequel bait this movie. So we got
the last fucking
job.
15 minutes of this movie were just sequel baiting. Like, the end of the movie was the twist ending, and Ryan Reynolds chained to a tree. Long pan out zoom to the jungles, credits. Sure, I'll take that. But no, you gotta all right, Ryan Reynolds has got to get his feedback, and then we gotta set up the sequel. And
there's a new heist, and it needs 3 people.
Again, this poor cop is gonna get strung along, and we're just supposed to be like,
take that, cop lady.
Yeah.
I'm like,
which, I mean, hey, ACAB, but she's Interpol, investigating art thievery.
MCAB.
ACAB.
MCAB.
Yep.
Anyway, so that was the movie. What roles would you want to play in this movie? There's only really like 3 or 4.
I think you would do it better, but I would like to try the arms dealer. His speech at his party is fun. I would like to.
That was a cool thing with the one bullet. I'm like, okay, that's a cute little thing to do as part of your speech for some extra flair. I can see why this guy would be popular. Yeah, and then he shot the chandelier and it set ablaze. Awesome. I barely hear him though. Yeah. I don't really have Rock or Ryan. I don't have Rock. I'm not big enough to be the Rock, and I don't have the Ryan Reynolds looks and stuff. But but at the same time, being just a comedic relief character is always fun. So yeah, Soda Voce also would probably be fun, like you said. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so fine.
I mean, yeah, I would say. Yeah, you should go for Ryan. You do Ryan Reynolds, and then I'll be the arms dealer.
There we go.
And we'll just let The Rock try again at being The Rock.
All right. So, final thoughts.
Another thing I didn't get to touch on, which I thought was weird, is sometimes the effects are good and look good, and then there's every once in a while there's a moment where it's like, oh my god, that's terrible green screen. I don't know if it's a rush job. I don't know if it's like they had to go back and do reshoots and it's like a completely different location 6 months later, and they're trying to add that in and it's just shot on green screen, and they're trying to just, because there's moments where like Ryan Reynolds looks like he's in green screen, in a really bad green screen, for a take. Then it cuts to The Rock. Then it cuts to the 2 shot of them where they all look like they're actually in the location, and then it'll cut back to Ryan Reynolds, and it looks like he's good and in the location.
Yeah.
But then there was that other take that they used where he seemed very clearly cut out in the background, and they just threw a background on there.
No, I agree.
So those were some weird moments. I don't know. I think I'm right on The Rock on having a little bit of fatigue. I want to see both of them do
something different
and interesting. And I would love, I don't know if The Rock can go down at this point. I'd love for him to get a little smaller, because he's also reached the point where it's like, unless you are Black Adam or this like fictitious section of the made up militarized police force helping or sometimes hunting the Fast and the Furious characters, it doesn't really make any sense why you're the way you are. Like in this movie, we never see his character eating 7 chicken breasts and a dozen cups of rice, and also working out 6 hours a day while he's traveling around the world with Ryan Reynolds. Like it doesn't make any sense why, it's because it's like it's almost beyond Arnold territory in like the 80s. It feels even bigger than that.
Yeah.
And there were times where you would cast Arnold as just like a normal detective who's going to go undercover as a kindergarten cop. And then it's just like, all right, you gotta put a scene in there where he's like aggressively doing push-ups in his hotel room or something. Cause like
there's gotta be something to say, why is this dude so fucking huge?
Right. Yeah. You got to show something, or him like bulk eating kind of thing, or like with a towel around his neck. Oh, just came from the gym. I wake up at 3 a.m. so I can look like this.
Which I think The Rock says, or that was Mark Wahlberg, one of the two, has said that.
Yeah, it was The Rock, but I'm sure, or that was Mark Wahlberg, but I'm sure The Rock's similar.
They had a movie about fucking lifting too much with the two of them. But yeah, I agree with you. Especially rewatching it now that I see it with the audio intended. That's how the joke's supposed to sound. Do. I decided early on, I was like, they can't. Like I said earlier in this review, they can't all be winners. It is what it is. At least there's some cool talking points involved in the movie. And hell, even if we didn't like it, which I ended up not really liking it,
it's not like it's bad. It's just it's not doing like I said. There's like Ryan Reynolds is funny, and he's putting in some work in this movie, but even his quips are going to get old at 40 minutes if it's the only thing going. And then the action set pieces, they're not doing anything special. It's that's
the thing. It's not bad, but it's not like great. It is like I said earlier, like it's just junk food. But sometimes you gotta eat, a McDonald's burger to appreciate a 20-ounce ribeye. Sometimes if all you have is a 20-ounce ribeye, you're gonna get tired of that and like be 800 pounds. But if you eat McDonald's every once in a while, you're like, oh, this is sustenance. It's not. I've had worse, but this is gonna get me today, something like that. Now I'm gonna eat this ribeye. Oh, so much better. Look how great this is. See the sear. That kind of shit.
Yeah.
So this is a McDonald's. It's reaching a full generic action movie. Maybe have something. It could be a good background noise and stuff like ha ha ha. Oh wait, here's that sabotage crash again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. So that's Red Notice. What are we watching next week, Bill?
We are going to be checking out a ribeye, The Prestige.
Ooh, yes, The Prestige. Looking forward to it. Very prestigious movie, from what I've heard. Yeah, so that's that. If you want to see other reviews of ours, we have over 52 of them on this channel. You can go check them out on this channel. You can also find me elsewhere on YouTube on the Whatever We Want podcast. I do it every week, every Wednesday with a good friend of mine, Super Jazz.
Super Jazz!
Thank you very much. As nature,
I challenge you! I challenge you, Super Jazz! He won't have me on Whatever We Want. He's scared. He's too afraid. I challenge you. In the comments.
All right. Anyway, you can also find me on Twitter and Twitch at GioTavi. That's GIOTAPI. Come on in, stop on by. See you next week. Adios.